In a violent and noisy storm, the family takes shelter in the basement. And when they come out the next day, they realize that a tree has pierced the window of their house. In the distance, the family sees a fog falling from the mountain. David Rayton realizes that the storm has wrecked the neighbor's car. David, along with neighbor Brent, go to the supermarket together with David's son Billy. Go to the supermarket and realize that the entire local community is without electricity. And this is how it starts. Welcome to Random Recaps. In this video, I am going to recap the movie. When they arrive at the store, they realize that everyone is shopping because of the storm.
It's been like this since we opened.
While in line to pay, David notices that the police arrive at the store, and police officers and firefighters are passing by. An emergency alarm sounds, and we see a guy named Dan running, bleeding, and shouting that there is something in the fog, telling them to close the doors.
Shut the doors! Shut the doors!
A guy runs out to his car, but the fog advances rapidly and covers everything, and we only hear the guy screaming. At that moment, it starts to shake. A mother left her children alone at home and wants to go get them, but no one wants to help her go through the fog. So the lady goes alone through the fog. The other people remain in the supermarket, and David leaves Billy in the care of some ladies. While David is trying to get a blanket for his son, Mrs. Carmody suspects that what is happening is nothing less than the apocalypse, while others try to find answers to the phenomenon that is occurring. David hears something pushing the door in the product unloading area of the warehouse and gets scared.
I'm so fucking scared right now, you shut!
He tells the mechanics and Ollie, but they don't believe him. They still go to check, but they don't see anything. David warns them not to open the door, but the mechanics don't care and still open the door to fix the generator. They open the door, and Norm stays to see what's there, and tentacles come out of the fog and attack Norm. David tries to help him, but the tentacles had spikes and hurt Norm. Ollie is going to strike the tentacles with an axe, but it's too late. That's what you get for being a fool, Norm. They turn on the generator and close the door. While David hits the tentacle with the axe, Jim apologizes for opening the door, and David hits him. They turn off the generator again. Ollie tells him that they have to tell the others, although David is not sure that the others will believe them. David and the others realize that that thing could come in at any moment since the front windows are glass.
We're screwed, okay? We're screwed.
David and Ollie tell Brent what they saw. Brent doesn't believe them at all.
I'm just not that stupid.
David tries to convince him, which makes Brent angry with him. David tells everyone what they saw and what happened to Norm. No one believes them. David shows the cut-off tentacle to one of the managers, and the tentacle disintegrates.
It appears we may have a problem of some magnitude.
After that, people start to protect the front. Although Brent still doesn't believe them, Mrs. Carmody keeps talking about this being the apocalypse, although people are getting tired of her.
Shut up, lady!
Dan asks Ollie if they have weapons here. Amanda says she has one. Ollie knows how to shoot. Brent wants to go look for rescue. David wants to tie a rope around his waist. A man volunteers to go get a guy's gun. Located in the car a few meters away from the supermarket, in the parking lot. Brent and his followers go out, and the guy goes too. The rope starts to pull quickly. The others try to pull hard. And when they pull it all, it's covered in blood, and the guy is cut in half. Everyone is scared to see that there is something out there. After that, they prepare lights as it's going to get dark, although there aren't enough batteries to turn them on. Meanwhile, a soldier and a girl are kissing. The others watch the windows, and then a giant bug appears at the window.
What the fuck?
And then more appear, and also a much larger flying monster trying to break the window. Ollie thinks the light attracts them. The bugs try to break the glass and manage to enter.
We're screwed.
A bug stings a girl who starts convulsing. A larger bird enters, and then another one enters. David and Amanda light a torch, then another guy lights another one, but the fool falls and burns himself.
Poor ugly thing, you.
David and Amanda burn the larger bird, and David beats it to death. Meanwhile, a bug approaches Mrs. Carmody but doesn't do anything to her. Ollie shoots the other bird. The injured bird approaches Billy, but David grabs Billy so Ollie can finish it off. Then we see the girl who died from the sting, and there are people who start to believe Mrs. Carmody. The guy who burned himself is still alive. Although he wants to commit suicide, David doesn't want him to do that, so he asks him to resist. Although a woman who was with Amanda did commit suicide, David plans to leave since if they stay, the creatures could break the windows and they would die anyway. And they also want to go to the pharmacy to look for burn medication. Amanda says it's crazy to go out. David tries to convince her, although Amanda is still not sure. David tells his son that he will go out, and all the others, Mrs. Carmody and her followers, don't want them to leave out of fear. And a lady throws a can at him. A group goes with David. They get to the pharmacy without seeing any monsters. They collect the medicines. Dan hears something. They see bodies covered in cobwebs, and they attack Jim. A guy asks for help, and spiders come out of his body. A giant spider arrives. Ollie shoots at it. The cobwebs they shoot are acidic. Many more come, and a cobweb manages to hit one guy, burning his leg. Then the spiders get another guy and he dies. The grandmother manages to kill one with fire. Ollie runs out of bullets. Dan kills a spider so they can get out. The other survivors escape from the pharmacy, and they return to the supermarket, scared. Carmody keeps talking about the apocalypse to her devoted followers, as the kid died from the burns. Jim becomes a follower of Carmody due to the trauma of going out. Those who are not followers of Carmody want to follow David's idea of leaving the place.
I'd rather die out there trying than in here waiting.
David goes to talk to the soldiers to ask them about the fog. Jim realizes that the others are bringing something. They go to look for the other soldiers, but they realize that they committed suicide. David asks the soldier if this is Project Arrowhead, an experiment the military was conducting at a nearby military base. Then Jim arrives and grabs the soldier, saying that they were the ones who brought the fog.
No, you tell us!
The soldier Wayne says he heard there were other dimensions, and they were trying to make a window to another dimension. But the experiment opened a door to another dimension and brought those creatures. Mrs. Carmody blamed the soldier for everything. Carmody's followers also blame him, so they beat him and stab him. And they take him outside for the monsters to eat him, and he is killed by a giant monster. Then David promises his son that he will never leave him. The group that follows David wants to leave, so they plan to go, but they are intercepted by Carmody and her followers. Carmody doesn't want to let the boy go.
I want the boy.
Everyone starts fighting until Lily shoots Carmody. David's group leaves the store towards the truck, but then a monster grabs Ollie. A spider attacks another guy. David, Amanda, Dan, and the grandma manage to get into the truck, but the others are chased. David grabs the gun and a spider comes, which doesn't do anything to them. Those in the store see David and the others leave. David travels to his house and finds his wife covered in cobwebs. With great sadness, David keeps driving to see where they can go. During the trip, they encounter a giant creature with tentacles and 6 legs. Passes over the car. David keeps driving until they finally run out of gas.
We gave it a good shot.
Everyone is left staring, thinking about what they will do. There are 4 bullets left, and although there are 5 people, they plan to commit suicide before being eaten by the creatures. Billy wakes up, and David shoots everyone, including his son. And he can't kill himself because there are no more bullets. David gets out of the truck, calling the creatures to kill him. Then he hears a noise, but it's not a creature. It's a war tank, followed by military convoys with survivors. Among them is the woman from the beginning that no one wanted to help, and some soldiers with flamethrowers clearing the fog and killing the creatures with them. The military had managed to repel the creatures, and David had killed his son and his companions in vain. Instead of fighting to the end or waiting for rescue, David falls to his knees screaming in sadness and pain. And that's how the movie ends.